Demand in Asia, lower fuel costs and an increase in passenger numbers. That's how Finnair reported its strongest fourth quarter on record, with operating profit of $73.5 million. The Finnish air carrier forecasts higher earnings for 2026. Well, Turkka Kuusisto is Finnair's CEO.
No, I think that the very solid Q4 we today reported is a factor of multiple successes. Of course, we benefited from, to some extent, the favorable oil price environment, but above all, the action taken by our 5,800 colleagues when it comes to punctual operation, cost management, and also capturing the available demand and very successful ticket sales during the fourth quarter then resulted in actually extremely good Q4 results.
You talk about your team there, so I do have to talk about some of the headwinds, because you faced significant disruption following that long-running labour dispute. Flight cancellations in late January, that affected thousands of passengers. Where are you in talks with unions?
Yes, the first half of 2025 was pretty much overshadowed by a complex and prolonged CLA processes, but luckily we could finalize and agree all the deals with all the employee unions and employee groups early July, and ever since we have operated in a kind of a stable environment that enabled us to win back customers' trust. We've seen very, very quick turnaround in NPS, and also what I was very happy to witness when we measured our employee engagement late November, early December, we also see a rather significant improvement in our internal engagement and culture environment.
But your business model, I would say, was uniquely exposed to the closure of Russian airspace. You're affected also by the COVID pandemic. You know, given your historic reliance on that short northern route to Asia, how are you reshaping your growth strategy in Asia and specifically China, given today's geopolitical and airspace realities?
Yeah, of course, the closure of Russian airspace influenced significantly our prior business model and network design. But in 2022 and 2023, the Finnair team successfully rebalanced or pivoted the network, and now we have demonstrated over the last 3 fiscal years that we can operate a successful and profitable airline, even though the macro landscape has changed. Asia is still very important for us, especially when it comes to our foothold in Japan. Unfortunately, our presence in China is limited because of the closure of Russian airspace. So currently we have only one destination in mainland China, being Shanghai, but to Hong Kong we do have a daily operation. But having said all this, we of course continue to monitor the situation very closely, because China and Chinese market is not only important for Finnair in the longer run, but that is hugely important export market in the wider group of Finnish industrial companies.
I mean, Finnair recently joined the Finnish Prime Minister's delegation to China. I mean, what would you say that signals about the strategic importance of the Chinese market for the airline right now, and more broadly for the sector?
No, I think that we were very privileged that we were invited to our Prime Minister's delegation, and we wanted to, of course, participate because, as mentioned, we do see that in the longer term we want to be in the position of further developing our market presence if Russian airspace one day will reopen. And giving you a bit of a context, we've been present in China already for more than 40 years, so it has been a long-term investment for Finnair, and we would like to see it to develop also in the future. And as mentioned, Finnish economy is also somewhat benefiting from our exports from Finland to China, so therefore I think that Finnair also need to be pretty involved.